right, y'all, let's get into some light today for Trump's comeback and the 3 trimesters of the new age that are upon us now, okay? And with those 3 trimesters, you get the trimesters for the end of the old age, okay? Because if you're holding on to that, old right and wrong, then you are going to be taken down into the lower depths of hell, all right? And you will not understand what is coming, and you will be left behind, all right? And this is a matter of being caught up with the Lord, and Adon equals the Lord. So as he is coming as the capstone to destroy one era, he is also the cornerstone of another era and setting up the new heaven and earth, and he is the dawn of time, okay? He is a figure to show us a time, okay? That's why you had the stars come under his reign. That's why you had the peace deal made with him and all those little things, okay? So he's coming out. What they are doing is they are gathering up the right and the wrong. The right and the wrong are the tares in the wheat, okay? The right and wrong, we're told, has become bad, because the good and bad, the good has become bad in end times, and the bad has become good, all right? And that's where you see the millennium now is cracking open, and you see that the people in the church, okay, filled with hate, they don't want to accept the new earth, all right? This is where they're going to be left behind. They're not understanding that man is God, and we are rising up into our godhood, and we are going to walk side by side with God. And God is ourself, and God is the government, and God is the invisible God, the Almighty, and all those things. And they're all coming together in one hard reality. And that's where you get the AI, and you're going to have the church age go away, because the church is part of the government structure to bring laws and Baal worship onto men, okay? And it's there to get you to worship Satan instead of worshiping the light, all right? So, Trump, okay? He was loved by many. The things that are coming out, he will probably be hated by those people. Okay, that's where he would be hung on the cross, in a matter of speaking. The people that used to hate him will probably start to love him. Okay, you're going to get a little flip-flops going on. So from what I see right now, okay, so from 2015, 2016, all right, there's a 20-year span to take out the old right and wrong and to bring in the new age without form and void. And then once we get into there, we will decide the new right and wrong for the age of Aquarius and the technological age and all those types of things, okay? But until then, they will need to come in and destroy things and to fulfill the law so they can bring hell upon earth and to bring judgment into those old people, or the older earth per se, because the old earth has forsaken all their laws. They're all hypocrites, and they all have forsaken the law. And I'll do another video exposing all this stuff, but it's all a big sham, and the judgment's coming, all right? They will lose their inheritance from the Lord. And the Lord giveth, and the Lord shall taketh away. And the Lord is the dawn. That is the dawn of time, who controls the government, okay? So, the Father has shown himself, okay? Now he's coming as truth, all right? That's where you get the Truth Social, and he's coming as the lion, all right? So, as the Holy Spirit, all right? And we know that the DeSantis and the Christmas spirit, 2025 and such, that ties with the Corona, the carnal representation, but that can tie into 2025, the playoff season or whatever, okay? So Donald, He's the King Spirit coming back. King Spirit died at 42 and 77, the Elvis, all right? If Elvis was alive today, he would be 45 years dead, going to be 46 years dead, all right? And Biden is the 46th president. And then Trump is going to be 77 coming up. And then also the false prophet, Biden, gets 42 months, okay? So this all ends around in that time spectrum, okay? That's all adding up, because right now you're at the 40, we're going into the 47th month of Biden's administration per se, since the time he announced his presidency on April 25th, 2019, okay? So we're coming up on those times. So we already see the bank stuff happening and the airlines grounded and stuff since 1/8, and I think that would have been the 44th month or whatever since his announcement, but that ties to Trump because Trump's the 44 and 45th. But anyway, so from those times forward, or from 46th on to that 42nd month per se, in that time frame, that would be when Biden is hatching all of his eggs and the men start to grow up. And as the men and the fowl, the stench of these men start to grow, they're going to become like chickens and turkeys, and they're going to be running around with their heads cut off. And this is where the temple's being broken down and rebuilt, and all those types of things. Okay, so as their money's taken out and replaced or whatever, the Christians and people, they're not going to have a choice about this mark in the right hand as far as a chip, because the mark in the right hand, according to the Bible, is where your heart is where your mind rests. So if you believe this shit out in the world, if you align yourself with right and left, or right and wrong, and you're going and voting for these people based on right and wrong, or based on right and left and shit, you got the mark in the right hand, okay? Plain and simple. You are a beast man if you believe in that election process where all the presidents, except for one, are all part of one family line, okay? You believe the line, all right? The CIA, Hollywood, all those actors, it's all a cast. It's a script. The script, sure. That's a wrap. It's a wrap, folks. The rapture's happening. It's the end. It's the theater. Last curtain call, folks. Don't get left behind in the audience. You want to get here on stage, because the old age is going out and you want to get staged and ready for the next one to come. All right, so Donald, 77, the 42, all that, okay? So when he's 81, all right, Elvis was born in 81, all right? We know that Elvis died on the throne, reading the scientific search for the face of Jesus. So that Jesus searched for the scientific search of Jesus. Jesus is He's us, the scientific man, the technological man going to the next age, okay? But Elvis died on the throne, okay? Trump will die on the throne, okay? I don't know if he's actually going to literally come back as there's a couple things going on here, okay? Let's break this down real quick, because there's two pathways I'm seeing for the reign of dawn, for the last Trump and all these, okay? So as a head wound, okay, Trump can come back and something happened to one of his children, all right, and that's as a head wound, okay? He takes time off. DeSantis comes in, does the heat of the day, all right? During these times, it turns into dark Trump and people don't like Trump or whatever. And then DeSantis comes in, does what he does, and then people start to like Trump after that, because what Trump's doing is that divide kind of thing. So Trump can come back and prove the election was stolen and maybe do like a short reign or whatever, but he doesn't have to reclaim his throne per se as far as being on the throne. He just has to die on the throne, and that would be of him winning the election, and that he would be the true heir of the throne, right? So if he died, he can die physically on the throne around 81 per se, or age 80, because that would also be the 1/8. But if they do the long phase, okay, they can do the assassination of a child. That's a head wound. That's as a head wound, okay? And then 3 days later, things come out, or if he's the physical head wound, Donald Trump Jr. can come out 3 days later and say, I'm Donald Trump, we're gonna go get these dudes or whatever, right? And that would be that abomination of desolation or whatever. But Trump's the donation, all right? He's the Don nation. So I think he's going to sacrifice one of his own, and then he's going to bring the heat on with the heat of day from that kind of stuff, all right? And then after that, you get the millennial reign, and then around, and he's in the background doing his thing this whole time, okay? And then around 2035, he becomes 88 again, okay? And that would be that final push to 2035, 2036, 2037, because he'd be the 88, 89, and 90, and that ties into that final trimesters to bring us into that final new age, okay? But otherwise, he could be taken out, and then the spirit of Don ride upon things. But I see that he came as the Father, okay? So he's coming as the Word now, as truth, and this truth is going to help divide the nation, and as he gets his trials and his mouth to speak, and then that's when the dark Trump comes, and he exalts himself as God, doing good and evil versus the right and wrong, and that's where the country would be divided. And then he like loses his position. He's in the background the whole time feeding stuff, but he doesn't come back until the last Trump, okay? And the last Trump is when you would actually get that that big mothership appearance, and you'd be taken into the new age. Well, you'd get the mothership appearance before that, but like when the holy city would appear and just like come and plant itself down, right, in Kansas or whatever, that would be like probably 2035, 36, or 37, but it could come as early as 2025 or 2030. It depends on the 3-point plan of what Trump's going to do, okay? They have a short game and a long game, but from what I see, DeSantis can come in 2025 or 2029, okay? It depends on how they do Trump's reign. But so either way, this is all being set up as a 3-stage ploy from 2015 to 2035, or 2016 to 2036, that time frame. But there's also a big egg as far as like the millennium, 2000 to 2030 or to 2033, depending on the count, because that's like each one of those 10-year spans is an egg or a trimester. And then you get the final phases where you're going from a spiritual carnal to a carnal. And that carnal phase is when the Christian church thinks they're in end times. But depending on how Trump does his hate, love, or love, hate, love relationship, destroying the old and bringing in the new, will depend on how they do those things. So with Back to the Future, we need to realize that there was Eric Stolz, all right, America Stolz. That's Trump stealing the crown back through the trials and the election fraud. And then there's the Marty McFly. The Marty McFly is the Ram T, the Ram Cross, and the McFly with the jets or the bombs and the attack on our nation and those types of things where you have to flee. Those are things we're working with. But so far, there's 2 scripts that's tying in that 2015 to 2035 or 2016, 2036 time frame for that birth of the new age, okay? And Trump's coming back in multiple ways, all right?